In the spring of 2019, Christian Yelich was the most feared hitter in baseball. He had just won the National League MVP. He had hit 36 home runs with a ground ball rate of 51.8%. That second number should have been impossible. Ground ball hitters are not supposed to hit 36 home runs. When you put the ball on the ground more than half the time, you are not a power hitter. You are a contact hitter who occasionally gets lucky on fly balls. Analysts ran the numbers and found something that had never happened before in the modern era. No qualified hitter with a ground ball rate that high had ever produced power numbers anywhere close to what Yelich posted. The projection systems flagged it immediately. Something in that 2018 line was not going to repeat. Yelich hit 44 home runs in 2019 before a fractured kneecap ended his season. Then he hit 5 in 2020. Then he spent the next 4 years never clearing 30 again. The most feared hitter in baseball had, in the span of 2 seasons, become a different player. And the numbers that explained why were there the entire time. This is the story of how a 40-homer season can be a lie, and the 3 numbers that will tell you before everyone else figures it out. The home run is baseball's most celebrated individual act. It requires no defense to stop, no luck to convert. The ball clears the fence, the run scores, and the box score adds another. For decades, the home run total was the number that defined power hitters. 40 home runs meant you were elite. Teams paid 9-figure contracts for 40-homer seasons. Fans argued Hall of Fame cases around them. The problem is that 40 home runs as a raw number tells you almost nothing about whether it will happen again. I'm still building sabermetric labs, so if this kind of baseball breakdown is your thing, I'd genuinely appreciate you subscribing. To understand why, you need to understand how a home run actually happens. A hitter has to make contact. The contact has to produce a fly ball. The fly ball has to carry far enough and at the right trajectory to clear the fence. Each of those 3 steps introduces a layer of randomness that the final number, 40 home runs, completely obscures. And each of those 3 steps has a corresponding metric that measures whether the skill is real or whether fortune was involved. The first number is barrel rate. A barrel is a batted ball hit at a specific combination of exit velocity and launch angle, the range where the physics of the contact itself almost guarantee a positive outcome. Barrel rate is the percentage of a hitter's batted ball events that fall into that zone. League average sits around 8%. Elite power hitters post barrel rates above 12 or 13. When a hitter has a high home run total and a low barrel rate, something doesn't line up. Those home runs did not come from consistently elite contact. They came from fly balls that happened to carry, from park dimensions, from sequencing. They came from conditions that are unlikely to repeat. The second number is HR/FB rate. This measures what percentage of a hitter's fly balls leave the park. League average is roughly 10%. Elite power hitters sustain rates above 15. A player posting a 25 or 30% HR/FB rate for a single season almost never stays there. Not because they got worse, but because that rate reflects fly balls that cleared the fence by a few feet, favorable park dimensions, and a stretch of pitchers who left balls up in the zone at exactly the wrong moment. Christian Yelich posted a 35% HR/FB rate in 2018. His career mark before that season was just under 20%. The spike was real for 1 year. The underlying contact quality that would have sustained it was not there. His barrel rate that season was high, but his fly ball rate was only 23%, meaning he was hitting the ball on the ground more than 3 times for every time he lifted it. The home runs came from the rare fly balls he did produce, going over fences at an extraordinary rate. That rate was always going to fall. The third number is exit velocity on contact, not peak exit velocity. Any hitter can barrel 1 ball per game by accident. Average exit velocity across all contact events. This is the number that tells you how hard a hitter is actually hitting the baseball as a matter of habit, not as a matter of luck. A hitter whose home run total is built on a high average exit velocity has a foundation. The ball is genuinely leaving the bat with force, and some percentage of that contact will always produce home runs regardless of park or sequencing. A hitter whose home run total is built on a manageable exit velocity but a sky-high HR/FB rate has a problem. The ball is not being hit harder. The fly balls are just landing on the right side of the fence more often than they should. These three numbers, barrel rate, HR/FB rate, and average exit velocity, do not guarantee anything. A hitter can improve all three through genuine mechanical changes. The Statcast era has documented legitimate breakouts, where a swing adjustment raised a player's barrel rate permanently and the power numbers reflected a real shift in ability. But those cases have markers. The exit velocity climbs, the barrel rate climbs, the HR/FB rate stays within a reasonable range. When a 40-homer season arrives without those markers, when the HR/FB rate spikes but the barrel rate and exit velocity stay flat, the numbers are flagging a season that the box score is about to remember incorrectly. The Yelich case was the most visible example of the pattern, but it was not unique. The history of baseball is full of 40-homer seasons that preceded years in the mid-20s or below, and the underlying metrics told the story before the regression arrived. A hitter who reaches 40 by consistently barreling the baseball, high exit velocity, high barrel rate, HR/FB rate in a sustainable range, is likely to stay in the 30s or better. A hitter who reaches 40 through an unsustainable combination of park, luck, and a spike in flyball home run conversion is likely to give most of that back. The number 40 means you had an exceptional year. The question the box score never asks is whether you deserved it. That is the investigation that Statcast made possible. Before exit velocity data and barrel tracking existed, teams and fans had to take the 40 home runs at face value and hope the player could do it again. Now the data exists to tell you, in real time, whether the foundation of a power season is genuine or borrowed. Whether the pitcher who served up the home runs was elite or struggling, whether the park inflated the numbers, whether the hitter's barrel rate backs up the total or exposes it. 40 home runs still matters, but sometimes it's just the number that lies.